Welcome to the Oasis. My name is Mike, and today here I'm at Coatsink. Now, if you're not familiar with who Coatsink are, they're the VR developers behind Augmented Empire, the Esper series, and They Suspect Nothing. And they've invited me here today at their office to try out their latest game called Shadow Point. It's a mysterious puzzle game that's going to be on this device here. Oh yes, this is the Oculus Quest. And I know a lot of you out there are excited about this headset, and I'm super excited about this headset too. So in today's video, we're going to be playing the brand new game Shadow Point on the Oculus Quest. Then I'm going to be talking to the developers about the game, and then finally I'll give you my first impressions at the end of the video. I hope you guys and girls enjoy this one, and without further ado, let's dive in.
Lorna McCabe vanished on June 25th, 1996, the day the tremors began. I assumed she fell into the ravine and the mountain would collapse and bury her. During my month at the summit, I discovered two things. Shadow Point Observatory doesn't merely view the heavens, and Lorna McCabe is still alive.
Okay, so it's Shadow Point Observatory, and Lorna McCabe is missing, but he says that she's still alive, so... Okay, so I think we've got our first puzzle here now, and it's like a bird silhouette in the distance, and maybe we need to manipulate this light, or maybe manipulate the bird to make the silhouette look right. Yeah. It's so weird. Now that I've got all this freedom, I just want to walk everywhere. Oh, nice. Wait. I've actually got... So, okay, this is cool. I should explain this, actually. So basically, I've got the ball in my hand, and I've got the light here, and I've got to create the silhouette with the ball, but in real time, manipulate it forwards and backwards to create the right size. Nice. Awesome. Ah, is that Lorna? There? I need to go through. Oh no, wait. I love the fact that you have to move it forwards and backwards to create that silhouette that's the right size. That's a really smart mechanic. Okay, so now I think we just use the cube and the ball to make this pan. I can grab them both out of my inventory really easily. It's like playing with shadow puppets when you're a kid. It's just so much fun. I can go and pet the bird. I can. Yeah, there you go, little buddy. Yeah, you like that. Okay, now everything's gone a bit dark. Now what do I need to do? Oh, I can see myself. Come on. Maybe like this. Oh, I need to see what I'm doing in the reflection. That's the plan. Oh, this is getting tricky now. This is like messing with my mind. This is so weird. I'm like moving in strange directions to line this up. There we go. Woo! That was cool. That's weird. So basically it's like a set ruler in my hand, but it's like another device in the mirror. This is going to get quite complicated, I can feel it. But it's cool though. Yeah. You really have to have like precise movements to make these shapes work. So cool. Right, move on. Think about logically, unlogically. Can I reach through? Maybe. Okay, it did actually, when I went close to it, it did actually show some bubbles on there to show that I could do that. Of course, I can swap it over with myself. Why didn't I think of that? Of course, I can exchange objects with my reflection. Jesus. This is what you don't realise in VR. The boundaries of what's possible is you can do anything.
There are 8 fragments in Shadow Point, 8 windows into her world. What happened to Lorna? It's still happening. Tonight, right now.
Super intrigued. Super intrigued. I want to play more now. I think that's the end. Yeah. Is it the end with just a white? Oh, I want to play more!
My name is Jonathan Davis, and I'm the narrative designer at Coatsink. Shadowpoint centres around the disappearance of a young girl called Lorna McCabe, who visited an observatory in Scotland on top of a mountain called Shadowpoint 12 years prior to the start of the game. You play a character called Alex Burkett, who, guided by the journal of a geologist called Edgar Mansfield, heads to Shadowpoint in search of her. So when it came to Shadowpoint, yeah, we decided that we wanted Edgar Mansfield to be voiced by a big actor. Who could it be? And at the top of our wish list was Sir Patrick Stewart, because he is the absolute king. It's always a bit uncertain, especially with big actors and their schedules, just trying to lock them down 6 months, maybe a year in advance. So I kind of refused to let myself get excited that it was an actual thing that we could actually do until we're all in the studio. So it really did involve like 6 months, a year of waiting. Any narrative designer or writer would be just absolutely thrilled to have their kind of content worked by such a wonderful thespian, and especially with such a rich and controlling voice. Being a puzzle game, mileage will always vary player to player. We're estimating somewhere in the region of minimum 5 hours. I think when we started the project we were aiming for something closer to 3, but it just grew and grew, and due to circumstances, there's just a massive amount of content there now, so we're looking at about 5 hours.
My name is Sarah Wilson, and I'm a junior producer here at Coatsink. Having a very strong relationship with Oculus in the past, and being an early adopter of all of their previous hardware, it just felt like a natural progression to want to bring our next game to the Oculus Quest. And we were also really excited about working with the new device in order to bring a fresh puzzle game that could utilise the tech advancements in order to do things that we just couldn't do in Esper and Esper 2. It definitely gave us room to do a lot more, which was really good, but it did naturally come with its own set of challenges. The biggest thing we could do is that because of the extra power, it meant we could make something bigger than we ever have done before on the go. It meant that as well we could finally develop a game in VR where the player could use free move as well as physically move around in the game space, whilst on the go the player had to remain static throughout. The biggest challenges that this brought on, though, is that we obviously now could never know where the player would be within the space, predict exactly what they might be doing, and test around all of those scenarios. We've also had to learn how to use the art to direct the player in the direction we want them to go in. And the other massive challenge was getting the locomotion comfortable for any player to use, which we've never had to deal with previously. So we've spent a lot of time adjusting our locomotion solutions in order to feel good for any player to pick up. So one thing we learned was that we wanted to give the player more freedom and more choice. In Esper and Esper 2, if a player got stuck on any particular puzzle, they were effectively blocked from the rest of the game's content. So in Shadowpoint, we wanted to take a more open approach so that a player could choose how and when they wanted to solve each of the puzzles.
Okay, guys and girls, so there we have it. That is Shadowpoint on the Oculus Quest. I have to say I had a lot of fun with this game. As you know, if you follow the channel, I love puzzle games in VR, so this game was right up my street. The satisfying puzzle mechanics of lining up these objects to create the perfect silhouettes you could move further on the game was really, really satisfying. And by the end of my demo, I was just super intrigued about what was going to happen next with Lorna and maybe exploring the environments further. So I'm definitely looking forward to playing more of this one in the future. Thanks again to Coatsink for inviting me here today. I really appreciate the invite. But I'd love to know what you guys and girls think about Shadowpoint in the comments down below. Are you excited for this game? Are you excited for the Oculus Quest? I would love to know. So I hope you guys and girls enjoyed this one. Leave a like if you did. Make sure you're subscribed for all my future content. And as always, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.